Well, good morning, folks. We're with Edward here, the Asylum Lake Preserve parking area. It is just 9 degrees above zero indicated. There's a little breeze. Out by the seashore, you'd call it freshening. About 5 miles an hour. You see the flag over here. See the snow coming. One more storm. We had some clearing a little bit overnight, but I decided to come out here this morning because I figured there'd be a halfway decent sunrise, and I think it's going to be a good looker this morning. Sunrise in the morning. Yep. The sailor takes warning. Sunrise at night, or red sky at night, sailor delight. It's red sky in the morning. It's always a sunrise, whether obscured or not. Red sky in the morning. Sailors take warning. Wonder if they'll still launch jet aircraft off our carriers if there's a red sky in the morning. Out here today, of course, it's the 5th. I mentioned it's Sunday morning. I'm quarantining. I didn't mention that the last few days, but my grandson and I are quarantining at my home. My daughter, my 11-month-old grandson, and my son-in-law all have contracted COVID. And so they have fairly mild cases of it. It's the second or third time for my daughter, and her husband, I think second time for him. And of course the baby, he's only 11 months old, and there's of course no vaxes for children that young, but he's tolerating it quite well. He's active and eating and all functions and playing and so forth. And so he had quite a temperature there back last Wednesday. They took him to the ER. That's when they were diagnosed. And so, but since then, all the prayers and well wishes and so forth, we're really feeling it. He is too. I've tested negative twice since Wednesday, and I was around him quite a bit on Tuesday and Monday, and holding him and playing with him and everything. But I've had COVID. Tell you here in a minute while we watch this beautiful sunrise, how I caught it. Kind of an interesting story you never heard or probably knew about me. But oh well. Everybody has a story to tell. Tell you part of mine about COVID. Well, I caught COVID way up in the western upper peninsula of Michigan in 2019 in a work camp at AMF, also known as Baraga. I was in the unsecure level 1 work camp at a gate pass. The work camp services and has to maintain the maximum security level 5 facility several hundred meters away in a totally different part of the property. So we would have to go up there and work to take care of everything in that facility, all the cooking, cleaning, laundry, everything. And so that's what I did. So while we were there down in the camp, one of the individuals that were working in the kitchen, outside employee, came in with COVID. She didn't know she was sick and spread it to about 30 of the cooks there that day and the next day, the day after that. And they brought it right back to the camp, and it took about 4.5 months for people to really start getting sick and being pulled out of there and put up in the gym up in the main facility. They're starting to quarantine people. The National Guard came in 3 different times and deep swabbed everybody. Man, I'll tell you that first deep swabbing, there were men with nosebleeds, and it was uncomfortable, but they came back and there was about 12 or 13 that were positive out of that first group, but it took a while for those tests to come back. So by the time they came back, there were more like 35 guys that were sick. I was moved around into different bunks, into different cubes where they didn't have anybody that were showing symptoms yet and so forth, until finally everybody in the camp caught it. I believe there is a figure down there is about 215 or 220 men. About half the guards also caught it. Over the time from, we'll say, all of 2019 until I came home on the 22nd of December of 2020, we had 1 death. My good buddy Schooner, Bob Schooner, he was in the dog unit training the CNI dogs for the blind, got very sick and died the next day. They took him from the camp to a hospital in Marquette, but he died early that next morning. He was the 100th inmate in the state of Michigan to die of COVID to that point. There were a couple more before I came home. I don't have a final count, but I went to that kiosk every single day and downloaded every sheet showing the facilities, who is sick, and how many deaths. And I also made a handwritten log daily of this. And it was something else. The only thing that we were given, of course, masks that have been made out of, down at the MDOC, wherever they do these things, they made them out of pajamas, out of prison pajamas. And we got a little PJ mask. The guards were wearing the N14s or whatever, the good 3M things. But yeah, over in Marquette, I can remember at one time they had 700 and some inmates sick and 200 plus guards that were sick. That was over in Marquette. But we started seeing the sicknesses downstate. We thought, boy, you know, that Mackinac Bridge, you know, it's separating the UP from downstate. Maybe it'll stay down there. But no, it took about a month and a half, and we started finding cases in the UP and the system there, and it wasn't long, and it just took over. Killed a lot of people. There's a big uproar, not only with inmates, but with the guards themselves and so forth, that we don't have good time in this state, and the governor won't sign it, sending people home early under emergency conditions like this that have non-violent victimless crimes, and let those, if they're not sick, let them get home, get them out of there. But she wouldn't sign a darn thing, and so a lot of people were jugged up, and a lot of people paid the price for it. I believe it was around 15 guards altogether. I'd have to look at my stats again, and employees of the MDOC that died of COVID, contracted there in the state. But anyways, that it really touched home to me, and I had it fairly mildly. You want to say I have about half my smell, a little better than half my smell, and about maybe half of my taste back. It really took its toll on that with me. But I take vitamins that have helped that along. We didn't receive anything in the MDOC except Tylenol. You could buy off the store or get it from your buddies or something. They give you a little packet. Miss Lewis, her last name is Lewis. She's a nurse practitioner up there in Baraga. Wonderful doctor. She took the bull by the horns and said, I don't care what the MDOC says. I'm giving you all extra vitamin C, zinc, and calcium, vitamin D. And she put everybody's paperwork through and got these pills on the way. It wasn't even 4 days, 4.5 days, and we were called out to medical to get these packets of these vitamins to start taking to help us with the COVID. Bless her heart. A lot of guys just threw all them away. What a waste. A couple of waste baskets just chucked with all those cards of those vitamins. I took mine. I'm here to tell the tale. There ain't no tale. But anyway, all is well, and with that, and things are looking better. They're going to take another COVID test tomorrow, and it looks like that sometime before the end of this coming week, everyone will be back to normalcy. That is our prayer. Beautiful sunrise, huh? All right. Well, thanks for listening to this story here this morning. I certainly wish that I did not have to bring that part of it to you. I certainly wish everybody well out there. Sometimes life can be a little bit tough, can be a little dicey. You just have to fall back on military training and flow with it. Do the best you can. All right, we'll get out here now and take a couple stills of this beautiful sunrise. Be right back. Okay, have a great day out there. Get a little bit more snow on the way, and the snow clouds working their way in. The wind's blowing right up my back, and so we're gonna get lake effect snow. Look at the YouTube site on South Haven, Michigan. Look up on YouTube the South Haven Lighthouse Cam. That's the South Haven Lighthouse Cam. And you'll see where I go when they have the big waves, and you can move that camera all around. It was high def last night. Pretty good wave action, but what we see out there today would be 4 to maybe pushing the 6 footer. Okay, the water level when the lake is calm is 6 foot from the lake level to the top of the pier, so it's the deck of the pier, whatever. You'll see the water washing across the pier, but when we get the 12 footers coming in that bust over the top of the lighthouse, that's when I go out there and get those videos. So take a look at that. You can watch that. It's live, and you can see it right now. The waves are out there chopping pretty good, but not good enough for a little video yet. You'll see what I mean when I get it. Have a great morning. See y'all in the next one.